here's the unemployment choo-choo.
All right, Jeff, I can't believe I'm saying this. I feel like a broken record, but here we are, another week of unemployment right here on the Unemployment Chew.
Yeah, it is broken. It is shattered.
It's shattered.
It is demolished.
Right.
Somebody lit up some TNT. Okay,
right.
This thing is blown up. Yes. So we're at it again. We're still here.
Listen. If our career was, Wile E. Coyote, it would be the dynamite. You know what? I messed that joke up. I was trying to infer that Wile E. Coyote blew up stuff, but I forgot that I would have had to put the Roadrunner.
Yeah, we're on an analogy fest here. I think people get the hint.
Do you get the joke that we were supposed to be Wile E. Coyote, and then we hold up the sign that says "ouch"?
Yeah, I'm bellowing.
Okay, good. Well, speaking of bellowing, a lot of reaction to Old Pity Ass. We're going to get to Old Pity Ass, but I do think there is a discussion that we need to have before we get to Old Pity Ass, and we were talking about how our beloved food court in the Grand Traverse Mall is all but gone, and then I'd like to maybe expand upon into a quality food court. So what is your understanding of the current state of the Grand Traverse Mall food court?
Look, I've always been somebody, I don't mind food court food.
I don't either.
Okay?
No.
I've always been a big fan of food court food. I mean, I can even think back to food court food memories. By where I grew up, there was a burger place called Flamers.
Did you? Okay. Did they have shakes? Just burgers?
Burgers, the whole deal, fries. But,
right.
They made them fresh there. And, back in the heyday, the good stuff. So I always judge them all, by their food court, not by the stores that are there.
Right.
They can have, Armani or whatever it is. If the food court sucks, forget it. And the Grand Traverse Mall, I saw, when we were there,
yep.
And, the show was doing well, and we were number one before we were unceremoniously fired.
I was going to say it always was number one, but go ahead.
We went into the mall, and people would stop us, and we'd be in there for an hour just, talking to people and do things. Because we went out as a show and did things, right?
Yes.
Not just because we were getting paid or we had to. We just liked to be out. But the state of the mall there, Subway gone. You lived for Sbarro Pizza.
I did.
Right?
I did. The breadsticks were second to none.
They had them ready for you.
They did.
I mean, you got the good old boy treatment.
Yep.
The Chinese, because we weren't making much, but doing all the work and not making much. So the Chinese was big on payday.
It was a big expense.
That was a big deal.
And I would go to the Chinese all the way over on the far right hand side, not the one right by our friends at Sbarro Pizza.
Right. So the Chinese food was delicious, and you would shovel it in like you had a front-end loader. Yep.
Like a nice steam shovel. That's right.
Yeah, but there, for our people that listen from there, it's just not the same anymore. It's all gone. The mall itself is fading away.
Well, you said something interesting, and I kind of want to bring that back up. See, that mall was never a great mall. I would say that on a scale from 1 to 10, when it was at full capacity, 4 or 5. But you know what? The food court easily made it a 6.5, 7 because of the friendly service, the neighborhood camaraderie.
The merry-go-round.
The merry-go-round was awesome, although the merry-go-round just seemed to be on 1 hour a week.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they had the Dairy Queen. I loved the Dairy Queen. Loved the Dairy Queen.
See, but you got the norm treatment at the food court at the mall.
Oh,
not many people get the norm treatment. Okay.
Oh, everybody knew me. I would break my day. We would go in. I would get the breadsticks. Then the people knew at the Chinese store that as I walked past them, didn't acknowledge them yet, to get my double beef ready. So I would go, we would talk to our friends, then we would swing over, we'd see the Dairy Queen maybe. And by the way, do you remember the drama that happened at the Dairy Queen?
Yeah.
That I was sexually harassing somebody?
Yeah, it was something that was totally ridiculous. But the guy was the problem the entire time. He was the one that was doing it.
Well, not only was he the one that was doing it, they had videotapes.
Right.
And thank God they had videotapes, because it not only did it exonerate me, but it proved that guy was the one doing it. And you know what?
I didn't think you looked alike.
Well,
but they seem to think. I mean, he was a rotund, bulbous.
yes. He was
slob who drank caramel for.
He was slovenly. Yes, he was.
Right.
He was.
So, and he would sit down working there. So at some point, they thought that you were,
a slovenly, obese man.
Right. That drank Hershey's syrup.
Right. And stuck Heath bars up his ass.
Right. You're just plowing down Bosco.
And you know what's funny? I would always, if you remember, I would get the fruit blizzard. I would get the vanilla ice cream with the raspberry fruits, because I liked the raspberry taste, because it made it raspberry ice cream. And, I guess the whole point of this is that you obviously seem to think that it's funny to write on the Grand Traverse Food Court Business Facebook that I am a very happy patron at this Indian place, which I have to tell you, I was against the Indian place from day one. Not because the food's not good, but because it's not an original. They replaced the hot dog store, and it smelled up the food court, which made for a less pleasurable experience. And you seem to just keep going, and these people think I'm such a big fan. They'll email me coupons in the Facebook, and I don't appreciate it.
You're talking about the Taste of India.
Yeah, whatever it's called. The Taste of, the Taste of India. The $15 lunch at the mall food court.
Right. Well, you got to pay for quality and pay for the service. And they seem to think that you have many different roles in my life.
Right. I'm an accountant, right?
Mm-hmm. You were my psychiatrist.
Right, like Dr. Grain.
My therapist. You were my therapist,
right?
Among other things. So they got to think that this worldly man, known as Richard Rizzo, this worldly man, just seems to adore and love
the Taste of India,
because they weren't there. They were new.
Yep.
When we were unceremoniously fired, they were new. So I don't know how much they knew about the show, the program, and how much of a star you are.
Well, here's the problem with that. Okay,
market 900.
Well, let's be honest. Okay, what was the initial reaction to this restaurant before we were unceremoniously fired from me? Was I felt like someone was coming in on my turf. I knew the people. I knew the Taco Bell people. I knew the hot dog people. I knew the Subway people. I knew the Sbarro people, and I knew the Chinese people. The lady on the end, she and her husband owned both of the Chinese stores in the mall. I felt like they were coming in. They were extorting people, and to top it all off, what kind of audacity, okay, do you have to come in to a food court and stink it to high heavens? I would walk in there and think I was in Bombay.
Well, I think at the end of the day, because curry can have a strong smell, I think that they wound up chasing out, because you couldn't smell the fresh baked pizza anymore from Sbarro. You
couldn't smell the breadsticks. You could see the smile, but you couldn't smell the smile.
Right. There's no better smell than getting a little sniff of a pizza pie. The smell of za. And
hot za.
You can't smell that anymore.
Yep.
Right.
And then
Chinese food you don't really smell.
No, but
you sniff.
But each place had its own smell in its location. This place took over the smell of all the locations. And you're right. I'll admit it. When I was in there, I was like, I can't eat anything. I smell Bombay, India. I'm now getting sick. I don't like curry. I don't like Indian food. Despite what you may write on their Facebook all the time, I don't like it. And so I had to neglect my people. And what happened? They all had to close. And I would think I'm kind of responsible for that. I was probably a good source of income for several of those restaurants.
Oh, they knew you were coming. And they yucked it up. They knew you were coming, having a good time. I think the one guy harassed you a little bit at the Chinese food place.
The Hispanic guy? Yeah. And then the one lady, she would always say, "You want double? You want double?"
Right.
Knowing full well that I wanted double. Of course I want double.
They skimped a little.
They did.
So you needed to get the double. But, look, she ran both of those restaurants all by herself. So, I mean, good for her.
Well, she had her 14-year-old son there often, too.
But yes, which is illegal. But did you ever think that maybe if you just slipped a little bit of that butter chicken with the basmati rice into those thin lips of yours and just took a little taste, that maybe you would be taking a trip to India one day?
Are you? Wait a minute. Are you suggesting that I put these thin lip Jesus things on basmati chicken?
Well, it's butter chicken actually. It's the butter chicken actually.
But I can't see. You know what's funny? I would try it. I would, but I can't with the smell.
Right. It's butter chicken over basmati rice. A mouth-watering creation.
And how much is it?
Well, you know what? This one is their special. You can get a plate like this as low as $7. I think it's a pretty small plate. But,
right.
Right.
So as of right now, that would be 14 breadsticks, 2 breadsticks for $1. Okay. So that's how I did the math. So basically, you're telling me, and their dinner plate's $15. You're telling me 30 breadsticks? I'm not in. I'm not in on that. And what really hurts my feelings is that you neglect my heartbreak. Because that mall wasn't special, but what made it special was when we walked into that food court. We were greeted, we were given hugs, we were given kisses, we were given breadsticks, we were given pizza, we were given, anecdotes and warm feelings. And you act like none of that happened. You act like the 2 years that we did that was nothing to you. And all you do is you literally continuously put me right in the foreground with the one restaurant that ruined it all, that taste of India, that taste of Mogadishu. And it's terrible.
Look, you had a great experience with Sbarro. Okay?
I did.
Something that it meant something to you.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being in New York City, and the home of some of the, people consider the best pizza in the world, and you decide to eat at the chain restaurant.
Well, say what you will, but Sbarro is great pizza. But go on.
But nevertheless, the friendships.
Yes.
That you built there.
That's it.
Were something special as well.
Yeah.
And you know what you liked about the Sbarro so much? It's when they walked up, you were oogled at.
Yep.
And ogled.
Yep.
They ogled at you.
Yep.
So one of the young ladies, I think, liked you.
But I
wasn't so sure. But the problem is, she was in and out of prison.
Well, see, she was in prison. She was on the work release. She was on work release, and then the other guy, the axe murderer, who was obsessed with me, I think his name was Lance. Okay, and then you had the other guy.
He did want to wear your face.
He did want to wear my face. Okay,
yeah.
And he would like get jealous when I would talk to other people. So when
he came out and hugged you one time, he left his station, work,
and he
on a lunch hour, and walked out, and just came out just to hug you.
Do you remember that he brought me? He made a mixture, 3 gallons of pink lemonade for me. They don't have pink lemonade. I used to mix their regular lemonade and their raspberry lemonade.
And he created it on your own?
He created it, and he came out, and remember he picked me up? I believe you took a picture of it. He picked me up and spun me around. Do you remember that?
I do. And we throw a New Year's Eve party? Didn't he come, or we threw some kind of party and he showed up too, or whatever it was?
Oh, no. He came to the New Year's party, and it was really scary. Yeah. Because I truly believe that he wants to kill me. Like, to possess me, like in a John Wayne Gacy kind of way. I've always felt that. And the girl that he's with, total beard, by the way, for him. Yep. Okay? Then you have the girl that's in prison for slinging methamphetamine. She would literally only be allowed to come out, work 8 hours, and then have to go back to prison. And she would have to get a cavity search every day.
Yes, she did tell us that. She would do that. Then you had the other guy who, this was his, not the manager guy. Who's the other guy?
Which
the nice guy that always talked to us, not the main manager who was always in the
Dan.
back, but